Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus was the Roman emperor to whom Paul appeared upon return to Jerusalem after his third missionary journey. Though not mentioned by the name in the Bible, secular records, and perhaps the book of Revelation, identify him as a ruthless man who began persecuting Christians. He began to rule in AD 54 and ruled until AD 68. He is thought to have had both Paul and Peter killed in Rome. He was the fifth and last emperor of the dynasty that had begun with Augustus in 27 BC. The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verses 20 through 23. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name Yahweh forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his, and he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and the secret things. He knoweth what it is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. I thank thee and praise thee, O thy power of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, that has made known unto me now what we desire of thee. For thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. We're entering into the fourth quarter of this rulership. The script was not for Kamala, but for the one of old, that serpent. The Lord sets these rulers up, and that's what you're not understanding. His kingdom wasn't brought in by a woman, nor will his kingdom end with one in rulership. And we speaking of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. But what it did was reveal that the nigger woman hates her counterpart, the Israelite man. And therefore, their lives are about to become more miserable than ever. Let's see if her vibration changes then. Stop being whores and killing our seeds. You see, there's an agenda that has to be carried out. Prophecies have to be fulfilled so the Lord can bring us home. Something that you don't even believe. We done told you that they are selected, not elected. And this devil has been selected by the Most High to bring that wrath upon this earth and upon you wicked Israelites. They believe he can stop the Third World War, y'all, or the RFID chip in Revelations 13 from being implemented. But see, that's vanity. Because every rulership kingdom has to end. But ours, it's going to last forever. You see, the country is divided. The right spirit is in office now to set the agenda forward. He just needs his ways. So let's see how martial law can come about.
How are you going to guard against the bureaucrats undermining you?
Well, they're going to undermine. Well, I always say, so we have two enemies. We have the outside enemy, and then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia, and all these countries, because if you have a smart president, he can handle them pretty easily. I got along great with all. I handled them.
Trump's victory cements a hard turn to the right in the United States. Deservedly, with Trump approaching the second term in office, we know what the next 4 years will look like. So everybody say, fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump!
A federal judge in Texas has ruled against President Joe Biden's program that seeks to give legal status to unauthorized immigrants who are spouses of American citizens. The program, named Keeping Families Together, was announced by the Biden administration in June. Now, the same judge who was appointed by President-elect Donald Trump in his first term has put the policy on hold. According to the program, undocumented migrants who are married to U.S. citizens and have lived in the country for 10 years or more are eligible for work permits and deportation protections. The policy also allows eligible migrant spouses to apply for a green card or permanent residency. And after 3 years, these spouses can apply for American citizenship. Now, American law requires illegal migrants to go back and return legally to get a green card. But with President Biden's policy, they would have been able to apply for a green card without leaving the country, which the Texas court says is illegal.
Well, David, the NYPD says that this is really a gang of very young people, and they have committed some 50 robberies. Some of them are even armed robberies. And we understand that the police first targeted them in Central Park, but now they have targeted this area, Times Square, as their playground.
They're reckless and as ruthless of a crew as we've seen.
And they're young, some as young as 11 years old. Police say they first targeted Central Park this summer, and now Times Square is their playground. And this gang, he says, is made up of asylum seekers being housed at the Roosevelt Hotel or the Little Devils of 42nd Street. And they even post about their crimes, which have escalated.
But I think more police on foot also helps a better presence.
A group of masked thieves storm in, but they don't get away with much. 3 robbers forced their way into Kimberly's jewelry. It was about noon today. They sprayed the security guard with bear repellent, then smashed the jewelry display cases. Well, the family who owns and operates the store jumped into action. They threw a stool from behind the counter at the robbers, and they grabbed pepper spray of their own. The thieves immediately turned. They ran out. The family tells us the trio did get away with merchandise estimated to be worth up to $25,000.
Scenes like this have gone viral, showing criminals go on a flash mob heist.
Oh no, it's at least 3 more situations that can lead to chaos to bring in the order. But let's get the scripture that matches. Because so far, sedition, deportation of family members, the so-called immigrant crimes, as well as the domestic situations, are ways to bring in that so-called order. But these next 3, man, you got these people skin boiling over these issues. A house divided. This is Yahweh speaking. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. You see that?
We are zeroing in on things that might change under a new Trump administration. The former president has promised to reinstate a ban on military service for transgender people and to block transition-related care for minors nationwide.
There's a lot of fear in many of the LGBTQ plus community, particularly about trans rights when it comes to the former president.
I have a lot of friends and family that are, women, LGBTQ, so I fear for them. I think our country just got a lot less safe for them. And so, I don't know. Not the country I thought it was.
What should the law be on abortion?
Well, I have been pro-life.
I know. What should the law? I know your principle. That's a good value, but what should be the law?
This presidential election is going to be very important because when you say what's the law, nobody knows what the law is going to be. It depends on who gets elected because somebody's going to appoint conservative judges and somebody's going to appoint liberal judges depending on who wins.
I've never understood the pro-life position.
Well,
I never understood it because I understand the principle. It's human life as people see it. But what crime? What crime is it?
Well, it's human life.
No. Should the woman be punished for having an abortion?
Look. I would say that it's a very serious problem, and it's a problem that we have to decide on. It's very hard.
But you're for banning it.
Are you going to say, well, wait, are you going to say put them in jail? Is that the punishment
what I'm asking
that you're talking about?
Because you say you want to ban it. What's that mean?
I am pro-life, yes.
What is ban? How do you ban abortion? How do you actually do it?
Well, you'll go back to a position like they had where people will perhaps go to illegal places.
Yeah.
But you have to ban it.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no? Is a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
These are the states in the U.S. that have now banned abortion completely. Along with the states that technically allow it but severely restrict it, it's about half the states. But now there's a plan to use the federal government to ban abortion everywhere.
2 Esdras chapter 15, verses 14 through 16. Woe to the world and them that dwell within, for the sword of their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. The Lord said destruction to the earth and all that dwell within, speaking to the wicked, because they got this land by deceit. Chaos will overflow. Your laws, emotions, and actions has caused the people to fight against each other, and it will get worse. There's no right way for this kingdom. The wound cannot be healed. But I say the best for last, and that's anti-Semitism. Although these camps teach we are the Israelites, it will not exclude them from Esau's wrath. They call it hate, and it must be stopped. And that pressure and major persecution will start in those camps who don't call on the Lord's real name, nor set themselves apart from the world. You have no protection, no covering, because you refuse to accept the 100% pure doctrine. So Esau will not spare you. So we got sedition, deportation, immigrant and domestic terrorism. You got LGBTQ laws coming, as well as abortion fallouts. And the Nero of today says anti-Semitism deserves death. Only the military will be able to control the people, and that's enough fuel to spark the fire. Is martial law around the corner? Shalom.